Well, it's a catch-22. If you're feeling ill, you should probably stay home from work. Unfortunately, that is not an option for many people because they don't have enough sick days available.
And that could contribute to the spread of diseases like the swine flu. Today, Connecticut Senator Chris Dodds heard from advocates on the need for paid sick leave legislation. NECN's Brian Burnell joins us now from our Hartford Bureau with a story. Brian?
Well, Leslie, tomorrow, Senator Chris Dodds will chair a hearing on a bill that would provide 7 paid sick leave days for almost all the workers in America. That is in sharper focus, as you mentioned, with the spread of the H1N1 virus. According to the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 40% of workers in America receive no paid sick leave. That can be an annoyance in normal times, but with the H1N1 flu spreading across the country, it takes on added importance. If workers can't afford to take time off, the flu has a better chance of spreading through a workplace. Connecticut Senator Chris Dodds chairs the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. On Tuesday, he holds a hearing on the Healthy Families Act. It's a bill that includes 7 paid sick days for most workers. It's an issue that hits hardest at the low end of the pay scale.
As much as 100%, for instance, of school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, food services. Was it 80% or so you told me, Jonathan?
78%.
78%.
And some people who get unpaid sick leave are worried about their job security.
I had a janitor come into the office wondering how she would be protected, how her job would be protected while she stayed home unpaid to care for her child.
Lori Pelletier is with the AFL-CIO in Connecticut. She says employers who oppose this should take a wider view.
It's a family values issue. I mean, when people have to make a decision about, they can't stay home with their child, their sick child, because they can't afford to take that one day off, that just comes down to family values and the fact that the child is being pitted against bills or groceries.
The Connecticut Business and Industry Association is a business lobbying group here in Connecticut. They point out that most businesses here already provide paid sick leave for their employees. They have to stay competitive. What they don't like, though, is government mandates.
Any government mandate would do all of us a disservice at a time right now when we have such dire economic circumstances for many companies, because forcing them to comply with an additional mandate and thereby raising their costs to comply with that additional mandate are going to frankly put some of the smaller, less lucrative businesses out of business altogether.
And that bill would provide for 7 paid sick days for virtually all workers in America except for those at the smallest companies. Leslie?
And is Senator Dodd optimistic that it will pass? Is there a chance here, Brian?
Well, there is a chance. You have to consider this. It's not part of the health care reform bill. It's a standalone bill, but it was proposed 7 years ago. And I know the wheels move slowly in Washington, but, it's taken a long time to get it even this far.
Okay. Brian Burnell in Hartford.